Before I begin, I would like to congratulate Kanchal Malviya, who has been thinking about this conference for quite some time, to reflect on the foundations of education. Where do we stand as a nation today, and where do we wish to go, particularly in the context of what we see is that we believe, and most of the world believes, that 21st century is India's century. This is very important. In the history of the nations and civilizations, times come, the civilizations like Swami Vivekananda said, like waves. They are like waves. And sometimes comes when they rise to their feet. They can rise to their feet. I think 21st century is that time. There is a reason for that. The reason is that today we are the youngest civilization, engaged number of people in our country. And if you can endow them with good education, question is, what is good education? Then nothing can stop this nation at this time. I never believed that last 70 years, I'm just 70 now, running 70, that time will come from abject poverty at the time of our independence. The day will come that India will become the leading economic power, economic nation in terms of the GDP, in terms of what they call GDP. That's not the correct definition, but correct indicator, but in terms of what the world understands, that time will come when total poverty, the Britishers left us by plundering this nation. The time will come that we will become the world's third largest economy in terms of purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity, you understand what you understand, that what $1 can buy in the US, what a $6 will cost in that particular country or that nation, and here we equate that as to the World Bank indicator. So today India is emerged as the world's largest economy of the world. That's what is saying that when we talk about it, my topic is, can we establish a leadership, re-establish for leadership in education in the global context? Will that happen in your lifetime? So today we are the largest economy. This was not foreseen. I think when you look at earlier decades, nobody talked about that India would be leading the economic power of the world. Today, what is the thing? You look at that. Earlier it was US, China, and now India. We crossed Japan, earlier we crossed Germany. This was not anticipated earlier. I'm telling you, for all the economic predictions, it was not anticipated earlier. This has happened now. That China has tipped even the United States very recently. This was also not anticipated. It was anticipated because China, the growth rates, what they had several years back, over the years now, recently, but India has, I think China has crossed. That US did not want to happen, but it happened. Now the question is, can India be leader? Now the definition of Dr. Bhatkar was explaining this, leader has, the term leadership has many dimensions. We have some indicators, accepted indicators, but it has got many dimensions. Here the concept is leadership is more than anything else. What we understand today and what I want to emphasize is we should prove, the concept of proof, not leadership in the various the number of universities, number of students, all those kind of things. But do we believe that we can establish that leadership in the world context? In the accepted terms, there are many things in the accepted terms of the world. That the world. Can we create great universities of the world? Can we have great school education? Can we have great education? things like great research. So the issue is, can we foresee that? Have you established leadership in certain fields in recent times? Now I watch that. I watch that sometimes you feel that since the current nature of education, or school education, or university, college education, that this is not possible. One will see that coming. And many of us who are altruistic, who will believe that is possible. One feel in which in my own lifetime, in fact, just last few decades, this is the field of information technology. In the field of information technology, undoubtedly, India is accepted as one of the great leaders of the world, because IT is equated with synonymous like equation like India technology, India this one, India talent, whatever it is. This has happened. This was I must tell you that the field of electronics begins when India gets independence. The electronics itself, transistor gets invented and electronics starts. Electronics was there earlier, but because that was the beginning. That was the time of independence. It just went nowhere. I remember the days when the electronics started in this country. 71, we see the emergence of microprocessor. That is in the Indian terms, get off and T. And then computing starts. Big way starts. Personal computer comes in, they invent were very across the world. And then who would be the internet, many things are happening. We start learning, I think that the very word like IT was coined in the decade of 1991, 1992. During that time, we talked about computers, electronics. We now start talking information technology. Whatever, and we started learning this. Just learning it. We did a software engineers, we did some people were learning computing at that time. But it is now if you look at 2.5 years, 25 years, we established great leadership from nowhere to the world leadership in this field. I'm not talking in terms of technology, we will like many things in technology still, but India has established their leadership. In telecom, but for the scams, we would also really, but for some scams, it's a politically. But India did tremendous things where we could not access, talk to each other on telephone, even in cities. Today is everybody has a mobile now, a smartphone. There are no toilets in the homes, but there are so many smartphones. Amazing things. I tell that you don't want to do the first priority to get a smartphone, not just phone, to get a smartphone. This is the really what that statement is. But anyway, what I want to tell you that, what I want to say that what did not happen. Today, imagining that we can create world-class universities, well, so we can leadership in education, perhaps, I think we can still anticipate this can possible. But some years back we said this is not possible. Whether it's school education, whether it's university education, whether it's still higher education we are talking about. But future is not a continuation of the past. This is what I want to bring out. It's not. We never thought that we will come. I'm just telling you the economic terms and make a statement here that we will be, in my make a bold statement that India as a nation could be the greatest economic power of the world in the next few decades. I know Jindal is here. They come. You have seen the whole world. You have seen the industry. You have seen the challenges of going small industry or large industry. Is it possible? Can we tip? Can we go cross United States and then of course cross also to China? We are now seeing that we have sustained growth rates of can we have 7.5 or maybe 8, 8.5, which is to 10, but we are across China in terms of growth rates. Growth rates and momentum is more important than absolute things. And with this growth rates, and what would happen in the times to come, in the decades to come, the next 3 decades, I always, in the decade of 40s, we will see India emerging as the greatest economic power of the world. Is it possible? they are way behind in absolute terms. But many people believe this will happen. We may not believe, but the United States believes that. The intelligence report, we believe that this will happen. That from one of the poorest nations, when it was independent, to 100 years later, India becomes the greatest economic power of the world in terms of what we call GDP. Still, there will be, I think, a lot of diversity. People will still do the things right. It may happen. I'm talking about this kind of thing. There will be a lot of deviations, differentiations, and disparities in the society. But this will happen. And one of the challenges is really that. So, this happens. One of the reasons for that would be that the education system. We have many shortcomings in the education system, and most of your great education is here. People are here and they are expressing themselves. But in spite of that, we must say that India is establishing one of the largest education systems of the world. Great infrastructure. From nothing. I think I remember the days when we were studying in the school in a small village. There are still local schools. Only one teacher teaching all primary schools. And it was possible at that time, good education was still possible at that time. It was nothing. Even in Ekal Vidyalaya, people talk about that. One teacher can teach all 4 standards and good education can be imparted. So that is not the point I want to make. But we have established a large infrastructure. Very large infrastructure, really. 700 universities. Look at that. And how this happened in front of my own eyes in last decade. We see that our policies were constraining us that we could not establish universities. Still many states are very straight policies, very narrow policies for the education. I thought that in education we will be able to get liberalize this industry. I think we are talking about liberalize like IT. Can we liberalize that industry? Of course, with all regulatory framework. If we liberalize the industry, we could have gone much ahead, but it's the kind of thing which we have today. So, our policy which we are able to for many reasons. I think for 700 universities, many central universities, large number of state universities, with their own problems, and then now the deemed universities and the private universities which have come. If at all, if could have been liberalized, I think it would be great universities by now. We could establish institutions like IITs, world class. When India was, I think it is really remarkable that when we were going hungry, I see the Vijay leadership of some people 3 years. When we was going hungry, when we don't have schools, we don't have teachers, we don't have chalks, we don't have boards, I think blackboards, we thought of creating institutions like IITs. That is just after independence. That vision, and we could establish world-class universities of that kind, institutions of this kind. Today, IITs, the first, the 5, and the 3 more, and then now we have 21 IITs. We are trying to still putting up. We have great challenges there, but we could create an IIT system to recognize all over the world. People say that it is easier to get admission in MIT, but not study about in IITs. Narayana say. I can get my son admitted to MIT in Boston, but I cannot get admission. I cannot guarantee that my son will get admission to IITs. Extremely competitive. So every parents goal is that my child can get admitted, if at all, if a seat could get admitted to one of the IITs now. That could be established. But if we could establish that now. Now the issue is that can we have universities of the world? India doesn't come. I've been the chairman of IIT Delhi, and the question is asked that why are we not coming in the first top 400 universities? The first of 500, now you are 200 universities. I think this year we broke that thing that whatever the barrier that in terms of the rating, the question of rating itself is a question because there are some parameters which may not exactly we may not appreciate, but that's about the ranking system. Today we have the QS rankings we have come. Ministry of Science has come to 150 and IIT has come to 176 and all those kind of things. We have come many of the subject rankings we are below 50. If it's electrical engineering, if it's civil engineering, some of the disciplines, other disciplines in the universities, we are now coming glowing the top 50 universities of the world. Subject-wise, not as an overall university, as a. But we'll come, I have no doubt that we'll come in top 100 universities, that will break into this framework, that will be one of the. I don't know that when we compare this ranking, we must understand if you compare suppose yourself with ourselves with Stanford or MIT or similar universities of the world. Our budgets of the universities are, we also look at that kind of thing. What is our things? We are talking about budgets of any top universities which may run into $2-3 billion a year. That is maybe 20,000 crores. For average universities, good universities may be funded like 200 crores. The IIT budget is the capital plus funding budget may be 300-400 crores, but if you remove the capital budget, that's 400 crores. So 200 crores and 20,000 crores. We are comparing those systems. Of course, but many nations have accomplished that. But in that thing, look at that. If we could, our education, if we could invest 6% of the GDP into education, this picture could change. This picture could not necessarily, but could, we could attract some of the best teachers. We could have established good infrastructure. We could spend a lot of things on research, which is the main thing. And one parameter which is generally considered by all over the world is that there is a, I sent the rating to the university, or what they said is that they sent a questionnaire to 600 people and they rate. Now, who knows there is a university like maybe Savitribai Pune University? Who knows that there is a university like that in the world? If I am sharing this, of course you are supposed to give this one, but people all over the world, we don't know about 700 universities and how they rate. I may not know the university in Tamil Nadu, for example. How do I rate those universities? I know that there are good universities, but I don't know the names of the universities and I have to rate them. So this is one major problem. Then the other issue problem was international faculty on the campus, the international students on the campus, and there are many other parameters which not that we cannot have, but our system doesn't know. It's not any international student cannot get admission in the IIT system at all. It cannot get. I have a problem of employing international faculty. We cannot employ international faculty, cannot like say Singapore can do, or like even Hong Kong can do, another institute can do. So in those parameters we do wrong. But even despite of that, I would say that this is what I have. Now I want to say that the thing, that what is the parameter in which we should really evaluate ourselves? Can we offer an education in which one parameter was discussed Dr. Vijay when you talk about the advanced nature, I say the definition of advanced nature should be whether that nation can attract students from all over the world. One of the, if you talk in terms of advancement, will the students from San Francisco, New York, Tokyo, or any other cities, or any city part of the world wants to come to India, come to our country for learning. Even this was the case, and this exactly was the case 500 BC, when you started establishing our university like that. At that time, what the world was, students, the princes, the monks, the people who had aspirants of knowledge, from learning, they came to India for learning. During what the world was at that time, all the very came from different roots and they learned in the universities. So we established the first universities of the world by knowing. No one thought in the dark ages of the country when we established those kind of universities where several subjects were offered at that time of learning, including the Indian philosophy, religion, the different darshanas, Buddhist philosophy, or whatever thing you know, all the Vijay, there was a 54 arts, all that time people came to learn. Will this happen? I'm not questioning that. Will it happen in the foreseeable future? Will the students from all over the world, some of the world, at least some disciplines, will come to learn in India? Why go? We want to go to MIT, Stanford, or Cambridge, or Oxford, or we want to go there because we thought one thing of the opportunities, second thing is that international recognition, the job opportunities, and second thing is that there is a That's it. Very good teachers, great professors, very good open environments, and we want to go to those countries, learn many things like that. This is the idea. We believe this happen in our lifetime. This can happen in our lifetime, provided that we can offer education in a way which has never been offered. We have several innovations in pedagogy, in many things, in the subjects. For example, yoga. Let me take the example of the Indian perspective of yoga, which we are celebrating Yoga Day on internationally. Each part gets the best education in yoga science, the science of yoga and the practice of yoga. The best education is available in India, in this university, and you are at this. And it may not be university, it may be learning from masters. Resurrection of our Gurutwa system. Can I resurrect my Gurutwa system? I want to. Steve Jobs want to learn. I suppose say, yo, he goes to some Himalayan Guru, and he wants to learn it there. Music, Ayurveda, resurrection of Ayurveda, which is the thing that people are moving towards, more and more moving towards, I think, the holistic healthcare. One of the really people discover that really one of the most holistic healthcare systems developed in the world is Ayurveda. I am seeing this happening all along the yogic world, yoga, Ayurveda Congress which is happening near Berlin. It's another European, the World Ayurveda Congress. There's many other things that slowly people are discovering I think the depth of such systems and sustainability of such systems. There are many things. So if you can resurrect these systems, or only systems, or also the very fun question people are asking is, which I ask the universities is that, why are we calling ourselves as university? Universities, universalization of mind. Does your education offer? Can your education offer universalization? Does it offer? If I go to Stanford, then will my mind be universalized? Can I say that will I get a view of that kind? Yes, I think if you want to see that universalization has offered, that integration, that oneness, I think India has taught its philosophy. So can we teach that philosophy, that worldview, which is the main purpose of education really, to create a God mind, universal mind itself, is that's what we need to be articulated. It is for this reason that this civilization has endured. When people are studying civilizations, the word civilization as a subject in many of the universities, that why so many civilizations arose. They arose as Swami Vivekananda observed like this one. They came, they went to peak, and then they went down. They went down. Look for me. So many civilizations. At that time there were great things. You see, Sumerian, Mesopotamian, Assyrian, many civilizations. There is the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Greek and the Romans, many civilizations of the world. This side in China, look at that. If this civilization has endured over 10,000 years, no, we don't know the years of what I think there is no history. What is the reason for that? Why is still enduring? And historians are really trying to explore why this is enduring. Because they created a different worldview. It is based on knowledge. Knowledge as a foundation of a civilization. Not how many nations have developed, how many wars have won, how many great edifices are built, how many forts we created by the world, size of the army. No, it has been education, foundation of knowledge. Knowledge has been supported. Right from the recorded first recorded books like Gurutwa. What do that stop? What was the Vedic system? What are the things like that? How liberal it was. That I could interpret it in different ways. It is enduring, but it was liberal to interpret in many ways. According to times, according to different things, according to context, and it endures. Still, the main value we take. This, I think, we have to understand that now we are studying. If you want to study the same civilizations, human civilizations, which are enduring, which are sustainable. The view is called sustainable. This one sustained. I think what Temple is writing book on that dharma issue, which endured, supported everyone. It's one and endured. It could be interpreted in many ways. Even today, I can interpret my own way. This system allowed that openness. What you call open systems. In computer system, why open systems survive? If it is openness, I can get into that system. I can modify it also. The kernels will remain of course the same. But this is why I think that if that education, I want to study philosophy, not this Western philosophy or Greek philosophy, which is now gone. I want to study that philosophy. I will come for learning in the Department of Philosophy in Pune University, which will be, I think, the great masters who can teach me that. If I want to learn what religion really is, what religion really is, what is against religion, why it is, what religions are endured, I will come to you. So I am talking about this foundations of which we are not learning from. No civilization asks the question in education system that I am here. Who am I? I think we never get teach. I want to learn physics, chemistry, biology, this engineering, electronics, new disciplines, information technology, big things which are coming up today, new fields. But I don't ask. It's a great tragedy that I don't ask that. I want to learn about everything, but not myself. I want to know the goals of everything. State of the art today, what is the computers, tomorrow is this one, tomorrow it will be like this, and I am writing on exhaustive supercomputers today, I am writing. But what is the goal of my own life? I never ask that question. See, this is a tragedy of education that we never ask that foundation. And this is the precisely the system which I think we ask, who am I? What is, how I am going to end? What happens after my death? The question of the particular ask Yama, what happens? What happens? Did anybody teach us what happens after my death? What is death itself? What happens to this body? I think we have no answers, but we have answered this stuff. And we can say that, we can experience that properly. Padma, Panchakosha, I think Dr. Bhatkar was talking about this Panchakosha. What is that? Is it still valid? That concept in today's science? Yes. When I am looking at computer science, computer architecture, is that I have hardware layers, I have an operating system layer, I have my language layer, I have optical middleware, I have my applications, I have layers of things. My software can escape. I can, if I break this my computer, I can see that my software can still appear on some of the body, some of the hardware, which I can determine. It's fine, we don't require communication, because all communication, I think now the communication are wireless. So I can show this happens to, I think, rebirth of machines. I can show that rebirth, I think it can be validated, can be true, can be clear, those kind of things. Those foundation questions, I mean, it is possible to leadership position where such questions will never be answered and no university will answer. Yet, my education system can, right from the academy, which has been taught, I can answer. So I think I have to end. But I'm trying to see that this, see what is the language? I'm talking about Sanskrit, important word, language. What is the language itself? What is the meaning of language? Only human beings have language? Does it have a language? I think we know now the bees have language, so many things that they are running. I guess the teacher was very proud about this, so people never believe it. That our plants have language. They have the emotions, we have talked about it. We talked about it, people, we can. So what I'm trying to say is that new worldview, can education give a new universal worldview? If that our education system, that Gurutwa system, that we resurrect our masters and our education system, I can create my universities of that kind, then such education, if you want to get armed with your masters, then come to you. That is my leadership. That is why I think the Vishwa Guru concept. Not India will become one of the largest economic powers of the world, I have no doubt. In science and technology, no doubt. This will happen. Now in the world, if you compare, and many other fields. In the infrastructure, also I have no doubt, in spite of all the problems we have. But the day we can bring this, the day we can imbibe this system, right from the education of the mother's womb itself, when we talk about it, can I do that? These are done in a particular manner like this, then India will create a new theory, I think it's only correct, learn from what has been said or what we have said, and establish a system, then this people in India will come. And this is I think the purpose of this seminar, and we talk about this, that this is can be in a new look at that. And that is what we are doing right now. Interoperability is what we are doing, but making this transformation widely possible, then we can lead into all our system. And real universities in the world are in India and go to run there. So then the university will establish. And I believe that this will happen sooner than later, certainly before. I don't know, I will see that day, but I feel that it will happen in some way. We'll see the glimpses of this happening in our own times. What our Prime Minister also talked about. Visual good. That is visual good. That is what civilization, that is what a society will develop, and that is how the direction we will take. Thank you very much. I share this.